Away in the Italian region of Lombardy, the municipality of Rovetta welcomes round 5 of the 2015 Maxis FIM Enduro World Championship. The venue returns to the series after an 8-year absence, with a typical series of awe-inspiring landscapes and challenging natural tests. Hometown rider Jonathan Manzi is one of 7 leading Italians who will hope to inspire the Tifosi. An enthusiastic 5,000-strong crowd wound their way around the 0.8-kilometre super test in Closoni, ready for the first of 13 legs in Stage 1. Over 120 competitors lined up to chase the fastest time, but it was Mattia Bellino who took the top spot by just 0.2 of a second. In the E1 category, Christophe Nambertin gained an early advantage, but the French were denied a trio of early successes as Johnny Aubert was beaten by Jaume Petriu in E2.
Eccoli qua, ricordo ieri il leader del mondiale della classe E1.
Marc Bourgeois won a two-way scrap with Simone Albergoni to take 5th position in E1, extending the gap between the pair in the championship. Lorenzo Santolino was fastest through 2 of the day's 4 cross tests, but was otherwise inconsistent on his way to 4th. 4 seconds ahead of Santolino, but 17 seconds back from first, Danny McCanny's consistency put him on the 3rd step of the podium for the 5th time this season. Christophe Nambertin finished only 8 seconds back from the win, after an error on lap 1 left him recovering from 8th. Despite notching the fastest times in just 2 of the 13 tests, Ero Remes took advantage of Nambertin's mistake to take a 3rd consecutive win and reduce the championship deficit to just a single point. A retirement for Rudy Moroni, Simone Albergoni and Jonathan Manzi both missing out on top 5 finishes. Difficult day for the Italians in E1. Loic Larrieux won a close battle with Italian Niccolo Mori to take 5th position in E2. Jaume Petriu pulled off a surprise super test win, but had already dropped to 4th by the end of lap 1, and that was where he sat for the remainder of the stage. Alex Salvini dropped back to 3rd, over a minute behind a close battle for the top 2 positions, after giving the home fans something to cheer as the lap 1 leader. Antoine Mayo could only manage the runner-up position, but was only 7 seconds back from the win after taking the fastest times in the 2 final tests of the day. And Pierre-Alexandre René made it a hat-trick of consecutive wins by taking the lead on lap 1 and gradually opening out a slender advantage. It was with 3 consecutive fastest times in the late stages of the day that he consolidated his position. 2 big-name retirements in E2 with Johnny Aubert and Victor Guerrero both failing to score championship points.
Yeah, it's really good for the championship. I get 3 points more than him today, and for the championship it's really good, and I will continue to fight and try to win.
Oscar Belletti made a dramatic leap in the standings with comfortably his best finish of the season in 5th. Newly aboard a KTM machine in Italy after the notable problems at Gas, Antoine Basset adapted well for a top 5 finish after a poor start in the Super Test. Egan Leoc took 3rd on a stage where the top 3 were separated by sizable margins by the end of the day. The DM Factory rider was already up to 3rd from 8th after the first cross test. It never looked like making further ground from there. Matteo Bellino could only add 1 fastest time to his E3 victory in the Super Test, as he was defeated for only the 4th time this season. 17 seconds down after 2 laps, Bellino had to settle for damage limitation. Matthew Phillips reignited his championship charge with a dominant performance in Italy. The Australian rode to fastest times in 10 of the 13 tests and brushed off his challengers with a 43-second win. Matti Sestola's injury struggles appear to continue on stage 1 as he could manage just 10th to slip further out of the championship race. Stage 2 was full of promise for Danny McCanny after he topped the timesheets around the first extreme test. From there he was unable to offer any more resistance and slipped out of the podium positions. Simone Albagoni missed out on a first podium finish of the season by just under 30 seconds, but scored a valuable result with main championship rival Marc Bourgeois down in 7th. A dramatic collapse continued for Christophe Nambertin as he suffered more dramas on 2 of the laps around the extreme tests. He recovered from 7th to eventually take 3rd, but was never in contention for a top 2 finish. Eero Remes moved into the championship lead for the first time in 2015 by taking 2nd position, but will leave Italy feeling it could have been more after he missed out on the win by just 7.5 seconds. Lorenzo Santolino surviving a late-stage pressure from the Finn to take his first ever win in the Enduro World Championship. The Spaniard had held the advantage from the first test of the day and never slipped from top spot to take a 3rd podium of his career. With Marc Bourgeois and Anthony Boissière outside of the top 5, Christophe Nambertin struggling as well. It was a day to forget for the French contingent in E1. Eero Remes takes the lead of the category for the first time in his career, a 2-horse race up front with a separate battle for 3rd.
Yes, I feel so good this during all the weekend, and I do very good first test, and then I have a good gap during the day and have small mistakes, but anyway, still with this gap till the end.
Loic Clarieux made it back-to-back 5th places and dropped behind season-long rival Jaume Petriu after stage 2. Lack of pace left him over 4 minutes from his lead fellow countryman. Petriu's consistency has gradually improved as the season has gone on, but he was nonetheless almost 2 minutes short of the podium on stage 2, as he again claimed the tag of best of the rest. Alex Salvini showed glimpses of his best form at the start of the 3rd lap, but was otherwise resigned to 3rd position. The Italian dropped a minute in arrears of the top 2. Pierre-Alexandre Renet was defeated for the first time since Portugal as he lost his championship momentum on stage 2 in Italy. At the halfway mark, Renet was less than 10 seconds behind after 2 consecutive fastest times, but from there he could offer no further resistance, and damage limitation was all he could do to restrict the championship deficit. Antoine Meo's dominance was absolute as he returned to winning ways with 9 fastest times in 12 tests. Only on the 2nd lap was he really troubled. With the 13-point lead now established in the championship and his main rival's momentum killed, Meo is back in control.
Mentre esce, mamma mia!
The same podium finishers on both stages, but crucially in the context of the championship, it's a different order on day 2. Battles for 4th and 1st are the closest overall, with Pierre-Alexandre René running out of time to close the gap.
Da dove arriva Acerbis?
Manuel Moni eventually missed out in a close 4-way battle for 4th. The Italian started strongly, faded as the day went on, but missed out on the podium by less than 4 seconds. Fastest in the penultimate enduro test, Luis Correa built enough of an advantage to hold on for 4th position after a stuttering start. Antoine Basset took his first podium of the season with an impressive 23-second margin from Luis Correa to move clear in 9th in the championship. Mattia Bellino was fastest through 3 of the first 4 tests, but struggled through the enduro test on each lap and failed to keep the lead pace. After a slow start to the season, Matthew Phillips has made it 2 back-to-back wins in 3 events, with a second consecutive victory in Italy that narrowed the gap to 15. Another retirement for Jonathan Barragan and mid-pack finishes for Matti Sestala and Egal Leok, as some major casualties are taken in E3. Sestala and Leok therefore drop out of championship contention with 2 races remaining and will now be locked in a battle for 3rd behind Phillips' chase for 1st.